finances, next pillar. So financially actually is probably the one area where I don't need too much refocusing. Like there's a lot of things where I'm like, oh, I'm already doing that, I'm already doing that. It's more so just like scaling back things a little bit to make them fit a little bit better. And some of that is, one, re-looking at my financial goals because they were very, very lofty, and realizing that one of the reasons they were lofty is because other priorities of mine weren't really that high on my list back in Arizona, because the whole point of having financial goals is to have the finances to move out here. And now that I'm here, I'd like a life here. So one of the ways that I'm working on that is to scale back my goals, because I don't need them to be as lofty. And even though the original goal I set is my actual end date, like my original thing, I need a smaller baby step of a goal, middle-ish ground, to make it feel more doable, I guess, and less overwhelming. So first things first, originally I wanted to put $10,000 back into my savings, just because having that right before I moved here made me feel so secure in my life, and it made me feel like, oh, I could lose my job tomorrow, it doesn't matter, I will be okay at least for a certain amount of time, right? Like it's still a bit of a panic even though I have any income coming in, but that it doesn't make me feel so whew. Whereas right now, if I lost my job or anything financially happened to me, I would be in quite a bit of a different panic mode, and I would like actually knowing that feeling of security. I want that back. So one of the things that I want to do is just right now double my savings, which is still far off from the 10,000, but if I could just double the amount that's in a savings account that I don't touch, I would feel 10 times better. And then I would also like to put a fair amount of contributions then into my retirement fund, since I had kind of really scaled back on that to make this move possible, which I mean every financial advisor in the world tells you not to freaking do, which is cool. But I did it for a while, it really helped me out, it got me where I wanted. So now I want to go back into contributing to my retirement accounts in a semi-okay basis, so that that is accruing and doing the things that everyone online tells you to do, like give all the money you can yesterday to the retirement accounts, compound interest, yada yada. Knowing that I'm just contributing to it, before I had a very lofty goal of like doing like the 30% of my income, which is like what's recommended, but I'm just like, I'm just not there. I'm not at that point. I don't have that much income to give to retirement accounts. So just making sure I'm getting regular things to it, again, is an okay goal. The next thing that I need to do is kind of a little more magic based-esque with my finances. So I've always been decently good with money magic. I don't know why, but my belief set in money and that it will come when I need it, it's been very stable for me. It's like less of a shadowy topic, I guess, for me in a way, even though there's a lot of things where I feel that I'm very financially illiterate. So instead of focusing my spells, which I've been doing recently in the past like month and a half, have been more on gaining an actual number. And while that seems to work decently enough, I used to do very habit-based money magic, meaning that like I did a spell to keep the money that's already in my account, and while having the belief still that money flows freely to me, it was more of a curtailing on my spending, in a way of sales will show up for an object I really need. I won't feel the urge to spend money. I bless an object, and that becomes my talisman that I carry around with me to help constantly imbue these things into my life. And I haven't charged a talisman or done a talisman for, you know, keeping the money in my realm in 6 months or more, and I think to redo that, to reaffirm something and like switch my focus of less of money comes in to more of money should stay with me, because money's coming in but it going out just as fast, and kind of curtailing where my goals should be. So I want to refocus my money magic then onto that and kind of keep back to that. And this is probably one of the few pillars that I was like, okay, like actually some things have been set up and I'm not in as bad of a situation as I thought I was. And some of it is just being pretty much realistic with myself about what my goals are and what I want. Like some long-term goals of mine are Of course, keeping my debt very, very low, having a really great credit score, and maintaining it. It's okay as of right now. Like, it's not bad, it's not good, it's in that nice, lovely, fair category that TurboTax gives you. Then long term also is my student loans. I would love to pay those things off, but that is thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars of debt. And at least I was lucky enough to get most of my loans through the government, so they're relatively low-ish interest rates, which aren't that bad. But it is something that I'm just like, that's always over my head, and I would like to eliminate that. But knowing that and doing that, it feels like more of a long-term goal, and I think I was just causing myself a shit ton of stress, because I was like, look, you paid all this debt off before with your credit cards, now focus on to the next big debt. And it's like, maybe re-securing the safety blanket in small baby steps, how you did it before, and then moving on to the big things again with small baby steps will be better. Let me know down below, what do you guys do for financial money magic-ish? Do you do things for like just one lump sum? Do you do something more for like a reoccurring type of deal? Because I'm kind of like on and off again with it. Like, I do like my talisman thing when I need it, but I'm thinking like maybe I should make this like maybe that should be part of my pillar, is that like I make it a reoccurring, no, I'm always going to recharge the talisman, it's always going to be in my wallet or my person, so that I always feel imbued with money and knowing that money is going to come to me and it's going to stay with me and build a level of safety and security for myself in general. Because that's something I don't do, is I haven't done that reoccurringly. It's just kind of happened upon as I'm filming this, so interesting thoughts. Anyway, that's kind of how I'm envisioning my money pillar, you know, focusing on stuff. And then I think also wrapping in the depth here with it. Spending still, when I do spending on money, is on experiences, on things I really value, and focusing that in and not letting stress, you know, don't let my emotions take full reign over my finances when it feels it needs to. And I think having just that smaller baby steps should hopefully help with that. And I can just continue with the spending on experiences, and make sure that I'm using the things that I do purchase fully. Like the other day, I had mentioned that I had changed my depth year rules a little bit, where it's like it's okay to like buy a shirt or something every once in a while if it's part of an experience shopping with someone and I feel I really need it or want it. And one of the things I've realized is, being here, I had a lot of fancy dress things that were like business casual, which are okay, fine, but I didn't have t-shirts or much of anything else, right? So I bought this t-shirt the other day, and it was like a $35 t-shirt. It was expensive. And so one of my things to help keep me accountable, a little bit of personal policy, is when I feel like I'm spending a quote-unquote exorbitant amount of money on a certain item for whatever reason, especially something that was originally excluded from being able to purchase in my depth year idea, is I then write it down price-wise, like, okay, so $38 is the t-shirt, and then how many times have I worn it since, so then I know like the cost per wear. And that has helped hugely, because it's like, it's a $38 t-shirt, but I've already worn it 6 times, and like it's kind of one of my favorite t-shirts and I really do want to wear it. So I'm like, okay, slowly but surely that cost per wear is going down if it ever gets below, you know, 25 cents per wear or longer, you know, which is what I like a lot of my clothes to be at, because I want to keep them for a very long time. I want to make sure it's good quality, it's something that goes well with my wardrobe, that I feel like good in all the time, and it is one of those pieces, so it's great. But I want that cost to wear to be really down, so I justify it, because I don't want to get back into that habit of, you buy a thing, you wear it like 3 times, and then you're kind of irritated with it, or worse, you never wear it because you just bought it in a fit in the moment and it wasn't actually worth it to you, type of deal. All that spending with food, clothes, like that was one of the main reasons for my depth year, and I think I was doing okay with it, but when emotions and stress and all that came into it, it didn't. So allowing myself to have that leeway, allowing myself to have that focus, and also knowing that like I still have these financial goals, and so curtailing back on things just because they're allowed within my depth year experiences, with eating out with friends, going out having a drink, going on dates, all that stuff can cost money. So maybe curtailing back on it a little bit to make sure, 1, I'm really looking forward to going, and 2, in the moment, does it make sense to say like, hey, if I spend money here, it's then going to take away money from my short-term financial goals over here, which I really would love to complete by the end of 2019. And also just, I guess, getting more financially literate, because let's be real, the lack of knowledge I know, like I have a freaking master's degree and still I am lacking so much when it comes to financial knowledge and like how best to use your money, how is the best way to go about things, how to negotiate, like so many things I am lacking. And so having a financial education to, you know, research, read some books on finances, watch some YouTube videos, read some articles, you know, spend some time on that front will probably help, just so I can at least have a firmer grasp on what the hell I'm actually doing as I reach for these goals. Not just give me more money please, because that works to some extent, but honestly, at least for me, I've noticed in my life that always seems to fall short after a while. So anyway, that was finances for my pillar. Probably the easiest one I think for me, oddly enough, but small goals, double the savings account, watch the spending, focus the magic on the habits and money and the staying of it and the sales and the less of the spending, as opposed to money just constantly coming in type of deal. And yeah, tomorrow will be, when's the next one? Relationships, I guess. Yeah, tomorrow will be relationships. That'll be interesting. All right, see you guys then. Bye-bye.